Okay, here we go again. So, still unsure about this whole deal. You're looking at something like this and you're not sure about it. This is part three of factoring trinomials, okay? So part three. Part two talked about leading coefficients when it was negative. Now we're going to talk about what happens when there's a common factor. Can I make things easier? And the answer to that is yes. So if I look at this example here, okay, this first example, I'm going to ask myself, all right, so is there something that they have in common? So do they have something in common? If they do, it's going to be much easier for me to pull that out first. So if I look at the numbers 4, 2, and 90, they're all divisible by 2. So if I divide out a 2, I'm going to be left with 2n squared minus 1n minus 45. Okay, and that allows me to work with much smaller numbers. Okay, so here I go. My a in this trinomial that's left over is 2. My b is negative 1. And then my c is negative 45. So no AC 2 times negative 45, basement negative 1. So I start thinking to myself, numbers that multiply each other. Again, you can break down 90 if you're not comfortable with this. You can go with 45 times 2. We can do 9 times 5. We can do 3 times 3, so that you could see that these are my prime factors. And I'm going to use variations of this to figure this out. So if I did 3 times 3 and 5 times 2, that's 9 times 10. That's probably going to give me my answer. So what I need to do here is negative tells me one of them is negative, one of them is positive, and the larger number is negative. So I'm going to try negative 10, positive 9. That multiplies, gives me this, and adds up to my bottom number. All right, so next, I divide by my leading coefficient, which was 2 in this instance. Okay, this first fraction to the right cannot be reduced, but this other one to the left does reduce. And that's going to be valuable for you. All right, so from here, this binomial is going to be the letter n, 1n minus 5. This one's going to be 2n plus 9. And then I can't forget about the 2 up front, so I bring out a 2 right there. And so there's my factored form of my trinomial. Okay? All right. And let's try one more where we combine the two problems together here. All right, so I start with a negative. Automatically, I'm taking out a negative. But is there anything more than just a negative 1 that I can pull out? Well, 16, 8, and 24 all have an 8 in common. So I'm going to divide out negative 8, and that's going to leave me with, let's see, negative, that gives me 2k squared. Divide out a negative 8, I get negative 1k. Divide out a negative 8, I get negative 3. Now all of a sudden this trinomial is much easier to deal with. So let's go and work this one out. A is 2, B now is negative 1, and C is negative 3. All right, so if I take a look at this, I'm going to use no AC in the basement. Two numbers that multiply each other would be negative 3 and positive 2. Okay, I now divide by my leading coefficient. So divide by 2, this can't change. Divide by 2, it changes to positive 1 over 1. Great. Next, I'm going to go and change these two binomials. So this is now going to be 2k minus 3. This one's going to be 1k plus 1. And then again, don't forget that you pulled out a negative 8 in the beginning, so that's got to be sitting in front of your final answer. And that's how we factor trinomials. Okay, so take a look at videos 1, 2, and 3. Video part number 4 is going to be how to solve them. And so we're going to go through those real quickly as well. So, let's not forget how happy you are. Yay! I'm so happy. Oh, maybe don't sing to yourself, but that's all.